Hey everybody, Sadness here, and today we're going to be going over the more advanced prestige methods in Egg Inc. Just in time for Egg Day, which, in case you don't know, is tomorrow. Egg Day is the one day a year, every year, where Egg Inc. gives the highest prestige bonuses possible. Every Saturday, we usually get a 2x prestige bonus. Last year on Egg Day, we got a 7x prestige bonus. So tomorrow, we're hoping for at least an 8x prestige bonus. Hopefully, we get a cash bonus on top of that, but who knows? Last year, I streamed for 22 hours doing IHR prestiges, which was like a brand new strategy that came out right before last Egg Day, made feasible by the addition of fast swapping artifacts in the artifact hall. Now even more prestige methods have come out, created by the community being geniuses, and I wanted to know which one was the best for me tomorrow, because I will be streaming again tomorrow. Probably not going 24 hours, however, I will go until all of my boosts run out, which should take about 11 hours. Now the question is, how am I going to compare all the different prestige methods to see which one gives you the most bang for your buck and the most bang for your unit time? Because my goal is to get the most soul eggs total tomorrow, not the most soul eggs per unit time, because I don't plan on prestiging for 24 hours straight. So what I did was I conducted an experiment. I went in and I did a full multi-prestige run for the base multi, the IHR multi-prestige, the piggy multi-prestige, and the lunar multi-prestige to see which of these was the best. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to show you my best leg from each of these runs and display a bunch of statistics related to the run, which can show how good it is. This will not be a tutorial on how to do a multi. I went over how to do a multi-stige last year in my How to Prestige Like a Pro in Egg Inc. video. I'll leave a link to that below in case you missed it and want to learn how to do a multi. But I'm just going to be going over the new stuff that each advanced prestige strategy does on top of the base multi, rather than going over how to do a multi here. Starting off with the base multi, my best leg for my base multi was my last leg. I got 20.27 quadrillion soul eggs per second over the course of 128 seconds. If I performed as good as I did on this last leg as I did on the rest of the legs, then I would have gotten 31 to 32 quintillion total soul eggs for this set. Now that's not what happened because I'm really rusty, haven't really done multis since last Egg Day when I did my 24-hour prestige. So I actually only got 28 quintillion, but that's okay because this video is about what is the best, not me being the best I can be. So what we're gonna do is just take our best leg and extrapolate if I had performed as consistently as I did during my best leg, what the total earnings for the run would have been. We're also gonna look at the average earnings that I got, even though it's not super indicative. For this run, I averaged 18.73 quadrillion soul eggs per second, which would give me a total average earnings of 30 quintillion soul eggs. My actual soul eggs that I earned was only 28 quintillion because there was some rough legs in there. If I were to do this perfectly and perform as consistently as I did during my final leg, I would have had a 13 leg multi and achieved about 31.5 quintillion soul eggs. So that's our nice baseline for multi-prestiges. Now let's go ahead and look at our first advanced prestige mechanism, which is the IHR prestige mechanism. Now it's called this because you use your IHR set during the middle of the prestige. Basically, at the start of every leg, when you reset to edible egg and then do a blind top to your second egg, you will then switch to your IHR artifact set and have that equipped until you're done fully maxing out your farm on universe. And this is just going to mean that your base level of chicken population is going to be significantly higher than what it was during your base multi set. It is a little harder because you have to click all these extra buttons, but you can still very easily get it done in time to do 13 legs of multis at about 2 minutes per leg, which is kind of what I aim for when I do my base multis and IHR multis. It's always a little bit over 2 minutes though, because the black screen time doesn't count towards your boost time, by the way. So usually 2 minutes and 6 seconds or 2 minutes and 8 seconds is actually like the ideal time because you lose that much time to black screens throughout the run. Now, my IHR multi that I did here was really scuffed because my phone crashed once and the game asked me if I wanted to make a backup of my account or something like that, or restore from the backup, which cost me an entire leg really. But outside of that leg, I actually was very, very consistent with an average gain of 22.38 quadrillion soul eggs per second, and a clear winner of my 8th leg, which is what you're seeing now, at 23.33 quadrillion soul eggs per second. Now the average earnings would get me 35.5 quintillion soul eggs. My actual earnings was 34.5 quintillion soul eggs, so I did nearly as good as the average on this one. We're warming up, you know. And then my max earnings would have been a whopping 37 quintillion. That is like 6 quintillion more per IHR multi than you get per base multi, and comes out to a 16% increase in soul eggs per multi. IHR stages are not that much more difficult than a base multi-stage, and they get you 16% more soul eggs per unit time and per unit GE because of the fact that it's the same base cost for both. 37 quintillion soul eggs for me is nothing to scoff at, but of course these numbers don't mean anything to you because it'll be just based on your current earnings bonus. So the real thing to look at is these percentages off of the base multi-set. So if you get 1 quadrillion soul eggs per multi, then you'll be getting 1.16 quadrillion soul eggs per multi if you do an IHR multi instead of a base multi. Keep that percent in mind more than the actual numbers I'm giving here. Up next, we have a multi-strategy that I'd never done before, and oh my god, it was so hard and I scuffed it up so bad that I actually only did 6 legs over the 25 minutes, and so we're going to just take those 6 legs and extrapolate from that. What is a piggystige first off? A piggystige is a huge waste of resources, and by resources I mean boosts, because instead of using the standard set of 5 boosts, you use instead 3 boost beacons, and the last 2 artifacts you swap in the middle of the run. So basically, just how we switched to the IHR set on our jump egg during the IHR multi, we also switch our boosts at the same time as we switch our artifact set. So in the piggystige, not only do you have to switch to your IHR set, you also have to switch your boosts. And it just takes so long to hit the cancel button. 1, because it's small, and 2, because there's just a delay. Like, you just can't click it. Like, I tap, 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 and it just doesn't change. But either way, even with that added like time loss, it turns out that switching your artifacts gives you just so many more soul eggs. And so what do you switch the artifacts to? When you switch to your IHR set on your jump egg, you switch to 2 1000x tachyons, and then once you finish maximizing your farm on universe egg, you cancel the 2 1000x tachyons and put on a bird feed and a soul beacon. And you don't touch your 3 50x boost beacons. Those just stay active the whole time. And then once you get back to the jump egg, you cancel your bird feed and your boost beacon to make room for your 2 tachyons. Now, I was maxing out my population so fast with this strategy that I actually had to do a worse version of the strategy, because you're supposed to completely max out universe, buy your transportation so that you can ship all of the eggs, and swap your artifacts to your prestige set before canceling your tachyons and putting on your soul beacon and bird feed. I was maxing out my farm population, and once you max out your farm population, you can't hit the red button to get your running chicken bonus, and without the running chicken bonus, you get no soul eggs. So what I did instead was, after maxing my research on universe, I would then switch my artifacts to the prestige set from the IHR set to slow down the rate at which my habs were getting maxed out, so that I had time to cancel my tachyon boosts and start the other boosts, and then I would buy the transportation, and then I would get my running chicken bonus and get in a good leg. But the whole reason why I'm saying this is because if you are perfect and you can perfectly max out your research and do everything in the correct order, you'll get even more than what I did. Now, my best leg, I got 28.38 quadrillion soul eggs per second over 135 seconds. Not the fastest leg, but still just a shit ton per second. And if you take the average I said before of 25.26 quadrillion per second, that brings us to 39 quintillion total, but the max gets us to 44 quintillion total. Now, this is 19.6% more than we got during the IHR stage, which means that it's 39% better than what we got during our base multi. So this is basically 20% better than an IHR multi-prestige and 40% better than a base multi-prestige. I had zero clue that this method was so good. I thought that you were just wasting your golden eggs when you did this and that you didn't actually get that much more soul eggs. I knew it was going to be a little better, but I didn't know it was going to be a whole 20% better than IHR multi-prestiges. That's just insane. But the question is, does it get you more SE per GE? Now, if you buy every boost in sets of 5 for the 20% discount, then every single legendary boost beacon cost 40,000 golden eggs, the tachyons cost 9,600, the bird feeds cost 2,000, and the soul beacons cost 8,000. Because of the fact that these legs take a little bit longer than the IHR and base multi-set, I'm only able to fit in 11 legs instead of 13 legs. But on each of these legs, I need to use 2 tachyons, a soul beacon, and a bird feed, which totals to 29,200 GE per leg. Multiplied over 11 legs plus the 120,000 GE for the legendary boost beacons, that comes out to 441,200 GE per prestige. Compare that to the 99,600 GE that you normally use, and that's 4.4 times as much golden eggs for less than 4.4 times as many soul eggs. So piggystiges are the most inefficient thing you can do when it comes to soul eggs per GE, but they're the most efficient way to get soul eggs per unit time. But if you're gonna do it on any day, tomorrow's the day to spend the money, you know? I don't have that much golden eggs left anyways, so it's not worth it for me. But that is not the last advanced prestige strategy that we're gonna be going over today, because Kev the Dev added a bunch of buffs to the lunar prestige mechanism, which before was a meme. And for those who don't know, a lunar prestige is a prestige where you earn your money by closing the game using lunar stones and the lunar totem. The biggest buff is that Kev the Dev added a tier 4 legendary lunar totem, which just didn't exist before. It was the only artifact without a legendary variant of it. But let's go over what a lunar prestige is really. I had to create my lunar prestige here, so you're gonna see me first attaching 3 lunar stones to a tier 4 legendary necklace, then equipping my tier 4 legendary totem with 3 tier 4 lunar stones, and then also I attached a lunar stone to my tier 4 rare feather that I had, and then I still use my Book of Basin. And that's going to be your prestige set, but you're also going to want to use your IHR strategies that we were discussing during the IHR multi-set, and this just means equipping your IHR set when you get to the jump egg, and then right before going offline, we'll switch back to our lunar set that I'm crafting here. Now, the lunar prestige mechanism is incredible for one reason alone, and it is that it does not rely on prophecy stones. This means that in the early game, a lunar prestige will be much more effective than in the later game. Now, I'm pretty late into the game. I have almost maximum prophecy eggs, and so I predict that the lunar won't be as good for me as it is for most newcomers. But the reason why I'm saying this stuff about the prophecy eggs is that you should try a lunar for yourself. One, because it's the most fun prestige mechanism on this list that we're going over today, and 2, it actually could outperform your base multis if you have a lower PE amount. Going in, I had really high hopes for the lunar. I was really hoping it would outperform my base multi-set, but after I crunched the numbers, I was disappointed to find that it actually comes up just a bit short. I averaged 15.6 quadrillion soul eggs per second, which is not a small amount. It is a pretty large amount still. My best leg, I got 16.63 quadrillion soul eggs per second over 169 seconds. And that is the thing that really holds the lunar prestige back, is that it is slow. And the reason it is slow is because in order to get the benefits of a lunar prestige, you need to stay offline for at least 60 seconds. I was told that the optimal time was 69 seconds, but I think it might be closer to like 62 seconds. I think you want a little bit of a buffer to make sure that you get that offline bonus. But for all of my legs, I did 69 seconds. And that's why it took 169 total seconds, and I got 2.81 quintillion soul eggs on that leg. Now, looking at the average 15.6 quadrillion per second, that leads us to 24 quintillion soul eggs total. And just looking at my max, it was only 26 quintillion soul eggs total, which means that this is actually an extremely consistent method. It's very hard to screw it up because you just go offline. You don't have to hold the button. Because of that, it's really easy and it's just really consistent. You just put a timer up, and then once it's done, you come back in and you prestige and you build up again, and then you go offline again, you know? One of the things about the lunar is that you don't have to do what I did. You don't have to do IHR lunars. You can just do base lunars, or you can just do like lunars and then just like log off for like 20 minutes and like come back in at the end. I think that's kind of the whole point of the lunars, is that they're more flexible. You know, you're not doing the optimal thing, but you are getting soul eggs at a good rate still and not really stressing as much about it. In terms of percent effectiveness, it's only 81% as effective as a base multi, unfortunately. And those are the 3 advanced prestige mechanisms beyond the base multi. I know this wasn't really a tutorial, but I hope that it was still helpful, and it's definitely guided me to know that tomorrow I'm going to do IHR multis and not piggystiges, but piggystiges are the best per unit time, which I thought was amazing. Toodaloo for now, everybody. I hope to see you tomorrow while I'm streaming Egg Inc. for at least 10 hours. We'll see. I think it's going to be more like 11 hours, but anyways, thanks everybody so much for watching, and hope to see you soon. Bye!